I'm older than you think.
You don't say your age?
I'm fucking old.
In this video, we'll give you the 2024 US Open rankings, tiers, some DFS, gambling, and everything else you need to know. I'm Alan Seslowsky of RotoWire.com, along with the expert. That's Len Hochberg. Len, let's start with the course. Where will the 2024 US Open be played?
Alan, this will be at Pinehurst number 2, one of the most famous courses in the United States. The course has already been designated to have future U.S. Opens. It is in North Carolina. It is not a traditional U.S. Open course with narrow fairways and thick rough. Instead, it's pretty wide open off the tee. There is zero rough, actually. There are a lot of what's called sandy waste areas or native sandscapes, whatever you want to call them. These are not bunkers. These are sandy areas that the golf ball will go into, and they are not considered hazards. The golf course will get really tricky is around the green. This is a 1907 Donald Ross design. Donald Ross, known for his tricky, diabolical green complexes. The greens, many of them are crowned with runoffs. So a lot of the things that we might normally not look at for a U.S. Open with a heavy emphasis on play around the green will be in full force this week.
All right, let's start at the top with our first tier, Scottie Scheffler. He still remains at the top of your rankings.
Yes, his legal proceedings are behind him. All he's done since then was finish 8th and 2nd. So you could see his game has fallen off tremendously since then. But yeah, I think he's going to be at the top of everybody's list. He does everything amazingly well except putt, and he sort of mitigated and minimized the damage on the greens. He's become mediocre on the greens, and when you do everything else as well as he does, that is more than enough.
In your rankings, which can be found on RotoWire.com, also linked in the video description below, Collin Morikawa skyrockets up to the number 2 position for the U.S. Open.
Yeah, he is just playing superb golf of late. Collin Morikawa has really turned his season around. It was a really slow start, but he's finished top 5 in both majors, really in contentions or the periphery of at both the Masters and the PGA. Game was slumping because his vaunted approach play was off, and it's still a little bit off, but it is improving greatly. And he has been spectacular off the tee. And even more importantly, he has been really good around the greens, something, as mentioned, will be vital this week. So he's just putting it all together.
Xander Schauffele's had some good luck, good performances lately. So he comes in at number 3.
Yeah, I mean, finally, Xander Schauffele has won a major. He's always first page of the leaderboard, on the first page of the leaderboard. When was he going to win a major? When was he going to win a major? And finally, he was able to do it at Valhalla a month ago, and he just did not fade down the stretch. And he does everything well. You know, in a major, you really need to have every part of your game going, and he is number 3 in my rankings.
Cameron Smith is back in our top 5 for the U.S. Open.
You know, he had a very good Masters where he was in the top 10, did not have as great a PGA, but I think this course will suit him because I really think that you need to be great from 100 yards and in, and perhaps no one better in the world from 100 yards and in with their wedge or their putter and their putter than Cameron Smith. I think he's due for another great major, not traditionally great at the U.S. Opens, although he did do very well last year on a course, maybe also not a traditional U.S. Open course at LA Country Club. So do like him a lot this week.
Who was the toughest golfer for you to rank inside the top 10? A player that maybe you put in there, but it won't surprise you if they finish outside the top 20.
Well, the 2 guys are Brooks Koepka and Jon Rahm, 2 of the top 10 players in the world on most people's list. Both have underperformed tremendously in both the Masters and the PGA. Neither of them has been in the conversation at all. The reason they're still in the top 10, it's really out of respect.
Let's go the other way. Who's someone outside of the top 20, top 25 that you're keeping an eye on that could end up in the top 10?
We talk about Harris English all the time, and he just is always a low-priced option, 130 to 1 already. I mean, I'm not picking him to win, but his DFS price is always commensurate with that, and he's had top tens in 3 recent U.S. Opens, and he plays well, and he's always favorably priced. I'm looking at Russell Henley, who's played well, very well leading up to this tournament, hits the ball very straight, pretty good from 100 yards and in as well. Mackenzie Hughes seems to be trending in the right direction, also good with a wedge and a putter.
Right, it's bold prediction time, Len Hochberg. Who's going to win the 2024 U.S. Open?
I'm going to go with Collin Morikawa, who is number 2 in my rankings, who's been so close of late and has been really rounding into form very nicely. It would not surprise me at all to see him with another major title.
If you enjoy videos like this, consider hitting the like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell to get notified when RotoWire puts up new video content every single day. And RotoWire is launched a new 100% fantasy football YouTube channel. The link to that, if you play fantasy football, is in the video description below. Also, remember to check out Len's full set of rankings, which is also linked in this video. Nice. That's what I'm saying. Or you just did the Trump dance.
Oh, is that? No, no.